The time has finally come. You are so excited to go and buy your first house, and you find it. It is in the perfect neighborhood. It is the perfect house. It is the perfect price. Everything about it is unbelievable. So naturally, you get excited, you make an offer on it, and you're looking really forward to calling this place home. You don't take this decision lightly. I mean, picking a home is a pretty big deal, and the neighborhood, well, it's really quite important, right? Like, you drove into the neighborhood and, well, it felt good for whatever reasons you have. But what happens when all of a sudden you get a neighborhood shock? A neighborhood shock. What's a neighborhood shock? Well, something like a monstrous development coming into your community that nobody wanted and nobody was prepared for. This really happens. And in fact, it just happened to great clients of ours who we actually met through our YouTube channel. Today's video is all about how this can happen and why it's becoming more and more common in the city of Surrey. But not only that, make sure you hang around till the end of the video because I'm going to show you how to protect yourself against getting into a situation like this where you might get more than you bargained for when you buy your new home. This is a true story, and it really happened to some great clients of ours, in fact, who we met through this YouTube channel. They had just started the home search process and had looked at various homes. They did stumble upon the absolute perfect home in a great, quiet family neighborhood, exactly what they were looking for. And the home itself, it was really well done. It was nicely renovated, well put together, and well taken care of. So all lights were green, kind of looking like, let's go ahead and let's buy this house. But like a car slamming on its brakes and screeching to a stop, we had to pull out of this deal because there was something going on behind the property that nobody was prepared for. Before I tell you what was going on behind the property though, and what created the big issue, I want to talk about something called zoning. If you're not familiar with what zoning is, it's really what a city uses to plan a community out. We can jump right onto the City of Surrey's website to get their definition of zoning. Every property in the City of Surrey is assigned a zone, and these zones are regulated in the zoning bylaws. The zoning bylaws tell you information about your property, such as the types of buildings allowed, the size of buildings allowed, the permitted use of the buildings, the amount of off-street parking you need, and the setbacks from the property lines. Seems pretty straightforward and pretty simple, right? So why does zoning exist? I'd like to suggest it's a lot more than what the City of Surrey has said on their website. Zoning makes up for the character of a neighborhood. It plays such an important role in not only the design and the feel of the neighborhood as well, but also major things that we all rely on. Things like school planning, transportation planning, road networks, where all the commercial is going to go, where all the city services are going to go, where the parks are going to go. This is all part of zoning and something called the official community plan. The official community plan shows not only where zoning is for specific neighborhoods, but also what proposed changes to those neighborhoods might look like in the future. And here's the important piece. It's very well thought out. It's very well planned for to help address communities from getting overbuilt or just really generally communities getting put together without a lot of thought. Here's the elephant in the room, the big problem that everyone is trying to solve. Zoning gets overridden all the time. This is incredibly frequent. Exceptions are made, densities are increased in neighborhoods that aren't prepared for them, meaning density is going into areas that really aren't well prepared for it, and the character and feel of our neighborhoods, well, they're at risk. Don't get me wrong, we need density. We need more homes for people to live in, and we need more affordable homes for people to live in. Everyone should have a right to participate in the community, and everyone should have a right to an affordable home in every community. The only thing is, we just need to do it right. We need to do it properly so our community aren't at risk of being overdeveloped and underserviced. But why does zoning get overridden and how does this happen? If I had to give you one guess, I bet you could figure it out. Take 3 seconds, let me know. If you guessed money, you guessed right. All it really takes for a developer who's interested in a parcel of land or increasing density in a neighborhood to change the zoning is applying to the city, and they're going to do city consultations and all this stuff that they would do when they change the zoning. But how do they override it? Well, They just throw money at the problem. Let's use the exact example of the parcel of land behind the property that we were looking at buying. So this behind me, well, this is the development that was originally supposed to be 21 single-family detached homes, which now is going to be 173 townhomes. Talk about increasing the density in a neighborhood, right? Let's talk about something called Capital Projects Community Amenity Contributions. This particular development was approved by council by the city's Community Amenity Contribution and Density Bonus Program. Not only that, the proposed development will be subject to the Tier 1 Capital Plan Project Community Amenity Contribution, as well as the Tier 2 Capital Plan Project Community Amenity Contribution. What does this all mean? They're just giving a boatload of money to the city to use towards various projects. Now, while that might not be a bad thing, we need more stuff in our communities. We need more money for our city to help fund these. This proposal had concerns not only from the people that are responsible for the parks in our communities, it also had the school district concerned because they were worried about capacity at the local schools. And that's not the last piece. When consulting with the public, it was stated in the report that respondents indicated that they purchased into their community on the basis that it would remain a single-family community. They feel that they have the right to expect stability in their neighborhood and that a change to the current makeup of the community would be a violation of that right. A lot of concerns went unheard as a result of this project, and this is the result of what happens when a developer throws money at the city. A beautiful forested parcel of land that was meant to have 21 single-family detached homes in it is now going to have 173 townhomes. I can say with certainty that everybody in that community likely is not in favor of this development going in. There is ways to do this, and there is better ways of adding density to a neighborhood that doesn't affect the character and the feel of a neighborhood like this particular project will. It makes a lot of sense that density would be added through an official community plan and end up along major corridors or as close to major corridors and public transit as possible. This is often what is published in community plans all over our municipalities, including the city of Surrey's, which shows the major hubs for development in the areas. This allows for a strategy to increase density that is going to take into account the impact on the schools, the roadways, the services, the infrastructure, the transportation, and generally everything adding major density to an area is going to have to be thought out for. This development that was approved, well, it's not in the secondary plan area, nor is it in the official community plan designation of urban to multiple residential. All it takes is some density bonuses to the city to change the zoning. So here's my question, and I'm curious what you think. What good is zoning and what good is the official community plan if it can just be changed when sold to the highest bidder? This is almost as bad as David Eby's most recent press release, where he's proposing the ability to turn single-family lots into up to 4 units of residential living. If you think throwing some townhomes in a neighborhood is going to impact the neighborhood, just imagine if every single-family lot was converted into 4 units moving forward. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I did do a video on this previously, and I will link it below. Bottom line is attractive and well thought out communities serve everyone. There's no doubt we need density for all the people coming to our beautiful area and beautiful province. It just needs to be done properly. And when convenient for the city, it shouldn't be sold to the highest bidder. Otherwise, we end up with ugly projects in the middle of nowhere, sticking out like a sore thumb, very similar to what happened on the Scott Road border with the project called Delta Rise. A high rise sticking out like a sore thumb in the middle of absolutely nowhere, looking completely out of place. So how do you, as a homeowner, protect yourself to make sure that you don't buy a home that ends up having a massive construction project behind it, or the fabric of the neighborhood is substantially changed by a really big development going in? Jump on your city's online mapping site, and whatever property you might be interested in, take a look for any development applications that might be open or being already approved. Not only this, but anywhere in the Lower Mainland, when you see trees or you see green space or you see brush behind a property or in and around a property that you're interested in buying, find out who owns it. See if there's any history of that land being for sale. And again, also check any development applications either pending or approved for that particular property. At least this way, you're gonna know exactly what you're getting into, and you're not gonna have 173 people standing in your backyard. So here's a question. What do you think? What do you think about the ability of the city to rezone properties outside of the official community plan and significantly change the density in a neighborhood? Leave your comment below. I'd be very interested to see what you think. And while you're down there, if you're someone that is looking to either buy or sell a home and the process is maybe a little confusing or scary for you, or maybe you just generally have some questions, there is a link below to book some time to speak directly with me about your situation, and we'll give you the advice you need to help you be successful. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our great videos we're releasing on a regular basis, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers.